Imagine for a second that you're looking at the absolute apex of power in the universe, the destroyer, the one whom gods and demons alike are, absolutely terrified of.
The ultimate ascetic.
Yeah,
The one who is usually lost in meditation, completely disconnected from the mundane world.
exactly. But then you see him bowing down to a man wandering in a forest, weeping uncontrollably over a lost wife. It's a massive contradiction. It just doesn't compute.
It doesn't.
And today, we are diving into exactly what happens when that contradiction breaks someone's faith.
It is a fascinating collision between what we see with our eyes, empirical evidence, and what we know through spiritual insight. And the fallout from this collision is, well, it's catastrophic.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we are tackling a really heavy, psychologically complex narrative from the Ramcharitmanas, specifically the Balkam.
We're looking at the source material that describes the tragic sequence of events leading to Lord Shiva abandoning his wife, Sati.
And I want to set the stakes high right from the start. This isn't just some marital argument.
Oh, not at all. This isn't just a husband and wife disagreeing. This is a story about how a single moment of doubt, followed by a very specific kind of deception, unraveled a relationship that spans millennia.
It's heavy stuff. So let's orient ourselves. We are working off an audio transcript that narrates a story told by the poet Saint Tulsidas. Our main characters are Shiva, Sati, the sage Agastya Rishi, and of course, Ram. Where does the story actually pick up?
Okay, so it starts in the Trita Yuga. This is the era when Ram has taken birth on Earth to, relieve the burdens of the world. But context is everything here. Ram isn't sitting on a throne in Ayodhya.
Right.
He is currently in the Dandak forest, living as an ascetic, a forest dweller. And this is immediately after the demon king Ravana has abducted his wife Sita.
Ah, the famous golden deer incident. Ravana lures Ram away and takes Sita.
Exactly. So when we enter the scene, Ram and his brother Lakshman are wandering the forest searching for her. And Ram is acting the part of a devastated husband to
perfection. He's crying, he's embracing trees, asking the animals.
To perfection, exactly. He's asking the vines if they have seen his Sita. He's fully in character.
And this is where Shiva and Sati enter the picture.
Yes. They're returning from a visit to Agastya Rishi, where they had been listening to the glorious stories of Ram. And as they travel back through the sky, Shiva looks down and spots Ram in the forest.
Shiva is Mahadev, the great god. What is his reaction to seeing Ram crying? You'd think he might be confused.
Not at all. It's pure, unadulterated devotion. The source describes Shiva feeling this immense surge of joy. He recognizes Ram immediately, not as a weeping man, but as Sasidananda.
Let's pause on that term, Saksidananda. We hear it a lot, but what does it actually mean in this context?
It's a compound term from Vedanta. Sat means truth or existence, Sit is consciousness, and Ananda is bliss. So Shiva is seeing the absolute truth disguised in human form.
And he wants to get down and bow to him.
He does, but he hesitates.
Why hesitate? If he's such a devotee, why not go say hello?
Because Ram is in the middle of his Leela.
His divine play.
Right. Ram has taken on this human role. If Shiva, the lord of the universe, with the matted hair, the snake, the whole look lands in the forest and bows to him, it blows Ram's cover.
It spoils the story.
Completely. The drama of the human avatar just falls apart. So Shiva decides to bow mentally. He offers his respect from a distance, acknowledging him as the supreme.
Okay, so Shiva sees God, but Sati, she sees something else entirely.
Completely different. Sati sees a man having a mental breakdown. And this is the catalyst for everything that follows. She looks at Shiva, her husband, the one the world worships.
And sees him bowing to this weeping prince.
Yes, and she thinks, hold on. If this man is the supreme Brahman, omnipresent, unborn, desireless, why is he acting so helpless over a woman?
I mean, to be fair to Sati, though, it's a logical question.
It is.
If you are God, shouldn't you be omniscient? Shouldn't you know exactly where your wife is? Why search? Why cry? It looks like incompetence, not divinity.
It's a very logical question if you rely solely on what your eyes show you. She's questioning his omniscience. She thinks, if even the Vedas can't fully grasp the supreme, how can this guy wandering in the woods be him?
But the doubt goes deeper, right? She's not just doubting Ram.
No, it metastasizes. She starts doubting Shiva's judgment. She's thinking, my husband is supposed to be all-knowing, but his actions here just don't match reality. Maybe he's wrong.
That's the crack in the foundation. Does Shiva realize she's doubting him?
Oh, immediately. He's the inner dweller. He knows her heart, and he tries to explain. He tells her, listen, Sati, this is the same Ram that the sages meditate on. This is the avatar taken for the benefit of devotees. Don't let your eyes fool you.
But it doesn't work.
No. The source says the explanation did not sit right in Sati's heart.
I feel like we've all been there. Someone explains something, but you just can't get past your own skepticism. You need to see for yourself.
And Shiva recognizes that. He realizes that words aren't working. So he says, fine, if you have so much doubt, go and test him. And he decides to wait under a banyan tree until she gets back.
But there's a dark foreshadowing here in the text, isn't there?
Yeah.
It's not just a casual, go ahead.
No, it's heavy. As Sati leaves, Shiva has this sinking feeling. The source text says he realizes Sati ka kushal nahinhai, meaning Sati's well-being is no longer secure. He basically concludes that whatever Ram has willed is going to happen and logic is useless now. He just starts chanting Ram's name and waits.
So Sati goes off to test the Lord of the Universe. That is a bold move. How does she decide to do it?
She decides to test his omniscience by using a disguise. And this is the critical error. She doesn't just disguise herself as a traveler or something.
What does she do?
She assumes the form of Sita.
Whoa. She dresses up as the very woman Ram is crying over.
She literally transforms into Sita. She adopts her exact physical appearance. She walks on the path where Ram is coming, thinking, if he's just a man, he'll think I'm his lost wife and run to me. If he's God, he'll know the difference.
That is incredibly risky.
Yeah.
And frankly, a bit manipulative. It feels like a trap.
It is. And when she approaches, Lakshman sees her first. And he is just stunned. He's completely confused. He can't say a word.
No, right.
Ram sees through it instantly.
Does he get angry? Does he call her out for mocking his pain?
No, and that's the beauty of his divinity. He smiles, he joins his hands in a respectful greeting, he introduces himself, mentions his father's name, and then asks a question that just absolutely obliterates her test.
What does he ask?
He asks, where is Rishiketu? That's another name for Shiva. And why are you wandering the forest alone?
Oof. That is a precision strike.
Yeah.
He didn't say Sita. He asked, where is your husband, Shiva?
Exactly. He acknowledged her true identity immediately, but with total politeness. And that one question just destroyed her confidence. She realized in that split second that she had made a massive mistake.
She failed the test.
Completely. She had questioned the very divinity her own husband worshipped. The source says she felt a terrible burning inside. She felt terrified and embarrassed.
So she just walks away.
She does, but Ram isn't done. He wants to remove her sorrow or maybe cement the lesson. He reveals a glimpse of his true nature.
The cosmic perspective treatment.
Right. As she's walking away, she looks ahead and sees Ram, Lakshman, and Sita walking ahead of her.
Wait, ahead of her, but she just left them behind.
Yes. And then she looks back, and they are behind her too. She looks around and she sees Ram everywhere, surrounded by all the gods, Shiva, Brahma, Vishnu, all serving him. She sees countless universes within him.
It's like the multiverse of madness. She's seen the code of the Matrix.
It's a revelation. It scares her so much she closes her eyes. When she opens them, everything is back to normal.
Okay, so lesson learned. She knows Ram is God. She knows Shiva was right. Now she has to go back to the banyan tree and face her husband.
And this is where the story pivots from a theological test to a relationship tragedy.
What did she tell him?
This is the turning point. Shiva asks her simply, how did you test him? Tell me the truth. Now remember, Satya is shaken. She's fearful. She knows she messed up.
And she lies.
She says, I didn't test him. I just went and bowed to him exactly like you did. I believe you now.
Oh, Sati. That's a bad move. To lie to Shiva, the guy known for having a third eye that sees everything.
Fear makes us do irrational things. It's a tragic move. Because Shiva immediately goes into dhyana, meditation. He looks inward and sees everything that actually happened.
He sees the doubt, the test.
And most crucially, he sees the form she took. He sees that she took the form of Sita.
Right, and this creates a massive moral and spiritual dilemma for him. This is the part that I think often gets misunderstood.
It really does.
Can you break that down? Why is the form of Sita such a deal breaker? Is it just because she lied? Or is there something deeper?
The lie is bad. It breaks the trust. But the form she took is the technical spiritual limit. It's about bhakti or devotion. Shiva worships Ram as his lord. Sita is Ram's consort.
Okay.
Therefore, in the spiritual hierarchy, Shiva views Sita as his mother. She is the universal mother, the Jagat Janani.
I see where this is going.
If Sati has taken the physical form of Sita, Shiva can no longer touch her or treat her as his wife. If he continues a marital relationship with a body that looked like his mother, he would be committing a sin against Dharma.
It would violate his code of devotion.
Yes. It would be spiritually incestuous in his eyes. So it's not that he's angry and punishing her, it's that she has essentially rewritten the boundaries of their relationship by taking that form.
It's an ethical impossibility for him now.
Precisely, he's heartbroken. The source says he felt great sorrow. He loves Sati. He knows she was just foolish. He can't publicly abandon her. That would be cruel. But he can't love her as a wife anymore. The intimacy is gone.
So what does he do?
He makes a mental vow, a sankalpa. He resolves right there under the tree that, with this body of Sati, I will no longer have a conjugal relationship.
And he doesn't tell her.
He doesn't say a word to her, but the universe hears it. And Akashvani, a celestial voice from the sky, rings out. It praises Shiva, saying, "Victory to you, Mahesh. You have upheld the firmness of bhakti. Who else but you could make such a difficult vow?"
And Sati hears this.
She does, and she's confused. She asks him, "What vow? What promise did you make?" But Shiva remains completely silent.
That silence must have been deafening on the way home.
It was. To distract her and maybe himself, Shiva starts telling stories. He narrates legends and history all the way back to Kailash. But the intimacy is gone. They're walking together, but they are worlds apart.
So they get back to Mount Kailash. Do they try to go back to normal life?
No. As soon as they arrive, Shiva sits under a banyan tree, assumes the lotus posture, and enters samadhi. He goes into a deep, deep trance. He just disconnects.
For how long?
The source is very specific here. He remains in meditation for 27,000 years.
I'm sorry, did you say 27,000 years?
Yes.
That is a very long time to give someone the silent treatment.
Yeah.
That's geological time.
It wasn't just the silent treatment, it was a complete spiritual withdrawal. For Shiva, time is fluid. But for Sati, she is living on Kailash alone, and she's in agony.
She must have figured it out.
Over time, she does. She realizes that her lie and her disguise as Sita are the root cause. The source uses a very vivid image here. It says she was burning internally like a potter's kiln.
Just baking in her own regret for eons?
Exactly. She realizes Shiva hasn't kicked her out because he's kind, but he has abandoned her in spirit. She's stuck in limbo, a wife in name, a stranger in reality.
Eventually she breaks, doesn't she?
She does. She prays to Ram, the very deity she doubted. She argues that if her love for Shiva is true, then Ram should help her. And her request is heartbreaking. She asks for her body to end.
She wants to be free.
She wants to be free of the misery of being a wife whom her husband cannot touch. She basically asks for a reset button. Get me out of this body.
She realizes that as long as she has this body, the body that mimics Sita Shiva will never love her again.
Exactly.
So after 27,000 years, Shiva finally wakes up. What happens then? Is there a reunion?
Shiva wakes up and starts chanting Ram's name. Sati bows to him. But here's the subtle detail that confirms all her fears. Shiva gives her a seat in front of him.
As opposed to beside him.
Right. In that culture, the wife sits to the left side, the Vamanji, literally the left limb. Being on the left signifies partnership. It means you are half of him.
But sitting in front is the position of a student.
Or a disciple. So without saying a word, he has demoted her from partner to pupil. He begins teaching her stories of Vishnu. He's being kind, but the romance is dead. The marriage is over.
That's the final nail in the coffin. And this is when the drama with her father, Daksha, kicks in.
Yes, the timing is fateful. While all this was happening, Sati's father, Daksha, has become the leader of the Prajapatis. He's full of arrogance. And he decides to organize a massive yajna, a great sacrificial ceremony.
And I'm guessing Shiva isn't on the guest list.
Not at all. Daksha invites everyone, gods, kinnaras, nagas, but he specifically excludes Shiva out of spite. There's no grudge.
But Sati finds out.
She sees the celestial traffic. She looks up and sees Vimana's flying vehicles filled with beautiful deities. She asks Shiva where they're going, and when she finds out it's her father's event, she wants to go.
It makes sense. She's lonely, estranged from her husband. And she's, hey, it's my dad's party. I should go home. Maybe there's love for me there.
And she argues a very relatable point. She says, you don't need an invitation to visit your parents, your guru, or your friends.
And Shiva, he knows this is a bad idea.
He tries to warn her. He says, look, Sati, your rule is generally true, but not when the host harbors hostility. He explains that Daksha hates him. He tells her, if you go, it will destroy your dignity. He will insult me, and you won't be able to bear it.
He's basically saying, they don't want us there, and you're going to get hurt.
Exactly. But Sati is torn by Hanahar destiny. The source says fate is powerful. She just cannot be persuaded.
Does Shiva stop her? He is gut. He just locked the door.
He realizes he can't. He sees that Sati's welfare is no longer possible. He sees the writing on the wall, so he allows her to leave. But he sends his main Ganas, his attendants, to escort her.
A sad moment. He knows she's walking into a trap.
A trap set by her own father's arrogance and her own destiny. And that leads to the famous incident at the Yachna, which, well, that's a story for another deep dive.
It is. But for this episode, we're focused on the breakdown of the relationship.
Yes. The mental abandonment had already happened under the banyan tree. This was just the final manifestation of it.
So let's just recap this chain reaction, because it's terrifyingly efficient. It started with a visual contradiction Ram trying.
Right. Let's trace the dominoes. 1. Doubt. Sati saw human tears and doubted divine truth.
2. Test. The doubt led to a test where she tried to verify God with her own limited logic.
3. Disguise. The test involved impersonating Sitaram's wife and Shiva's spiritual mother.
4. Lie. When caught, she lied to Shiva about it out of fear.
And 5. Abandonment. The lie and the disguise forced Shiva to ethically and spiritually detach from her.
It really highlights the tragedy of the lie, doesn't it? I mean, if she had come back to the banyan tree and just said, Shiva, I messed up, I dressed as Sita and he caught me, do you think it would have been different?
It's the great what if, perhaps. Shiva is known as Ashutosh, the one who is easily pleased, quick to forgive. But the combination of the deception and the specific form she took, Sita, created a knot that couldn't be untied.
She effectively changed her status from wife to mother in his eyes.
By taking that form, yes. And that's the core so what here. We often let our skepticism blind us to the truth standing right in front of us. Sati saw the human tears of Ram and missed the divinity. Shiva saw the same tears and saw the beauty of the Leela.
One saw tragedy, the other saw grace.
Precisely. And the source leaves us with this provocative thought about fate. It mentions Bobby Prabal fate is powerful. Even Shiva, the destroyer of the universe, resigned himself to fate regarding his own wife.
Which is kind of terrifying. If the guys running the universe submit to destiny, what chance do we have?
Or we could flip it. Was Sati's destiny simply the inevitable result of her refusal to trust?
That is the question to chew on. Can we change our fate by trusting wisdom over our own limited logic?
A question worth meditating on for at least 27,000 years.
Maybe let's start with the rest of the day. That's all for this deep dive into the Ramcharitmanas. We'll catch you on the next one.
Stay curious.